Hi guys, so we're a little bit of the way into March and it is therefore time to do a February budget recap. And I'm really excited to share the numbers and also reflect on the month as a whole with you. So, just a quick one. I'm Nicole. This is She Starts Saving, where you watch me attempt to try and repair money mistakes, save a baby step one, follow the Dave Ramsey baby steps while in the UK, and then just generally get to grips with being a freelancer earning money. And we'll see how that goes. So, first things first, my goals for the month were to make £1,200, get regular commissions, and meet my saving pot goals, and I did. So here is my details in terms of my income. So my income support was £592.09 for the month. I was able to sell some items on Facebook, most notably my spare sewing machine, which I'm a little bit sad about, but that is what it is, and that was £95. I had a one-day film shoot and was paid £150. I sold some fabrics and materials that I wasn't using and had no intention of using for £21.94. I transferred over some savings that I had occurred in January for a weekend with my sister. That was a pre-planned expense. I had a payment come through because I sold some books, and that was £8.43, and then I had £423.33 come in for some, I say, commissions. I had realised when I was listing my fabric that there were some items that weren't selling, and decided probably the best way to get rid of them was to make up a couple of items, put them on a couple of Facebook specific sites for people who do live action roleplay, Renaissance fairs, not quite cosplay and not quite the full historical reenactment, and they took off like a shot. So that is now carrying forward into this month as well. So that was a huge boost. I had mileage reimbursement for the film. That was £21.94, and then I sold a wallet that I had created on Etsy, which is £15.27. The Etsy site was something I started developing in January, and those are a series of budgeting wallets, cash envelope type things. Very slow moving, and I don't know how frequently that will occur. But it meant my total income was £1,457, which is, even when I was salaried and working full time, that is the most amount of money I have ever earned in a month. And that number as a whole means that over time I should be able to reduce this one if I can get the costume commission category to grow. In terms of my savings, if we come down to here, if you can see it, this is the thing, when you're kind of doing the colours and stuff, you can read them fine, but then sometimes on camera they don't always appear, but there we go. So I wanted to put some money into an annual cat fund. That is because throughout this year, if I do go on to a shoot and do any work and things, the cat will have to go into a cattery as well as get his vaccinations, etc. So I wanted to start building a small cat sinking fund, so I was able to put £15 in there. I completed the 1p challenge for the month, which was £13.34, the 52-week challenge, which was £30, and then I also was able to put some money into my Duke of Edinburgh Assessment Award hiking fund, which was £20, and then I also had I've started to do a beauty and toiletries kind of household goods fund, which was £3.51, and that developed out of my budget over January and February because I was taking those items from either my personal money or my household, specifically household and laundry items and things were coming from my food budget, and that was therefore contributing to me going over my food budget, although that is not the main reason. So in terms of my categories for the month here, rent stays the same, £425, that came out. Where we might as well just address it, it's here. I set my food budget too low, and I therefore nearly doubled it. In fact, I might as well just doubled it. We will get onto that in a second, but that is not good. Cat food, I'd set a budget of £15 and I chose to go over to almost double, and that is because I get his food from Aldi, and they were doing, one of their special buys was a 48 pack of his item, of his specific cat food, and actually going and buying 2 packs of those worked out cheaper per sachet than it would do me buying him normally, and that actually gives me all of his food for March, maybe shy of 2 or 3 days because it's a 5-week month in March. So I basically advanced myself the cat food money for March. That's what I'm going with there. Petrol was down, it was £69.03 against a budget of £120. AA breakdown cover, £10.60 as normal, same for the car tax. Car insurance, I'm going to do a separate video. They cocked up and didn't take any money from me, and didn't set the policy up correctly either, but I have been driving around insured for 3 months, so I don't quite know how that works, but I will be changing my provider this month. Mobile phone set at 20 and was able to do £10 and only top up £10 because that was all I needed. My Vanquist minimum was, I'd estimated 20, and then that was £17.75. Personal, I'd set £110, and I went over £162.66. National Trust wasn't taken this month. Spotify, I will not need to do for another 3 months, because I mentioned in my January budget video that was one of the things that I wasn't prepared to budge on. Yes, until they were doing a promotion where if you set up a new account, you get 3 months free, and I am not so much of a purist that I need to stick with the same amount and same account and therefore same playlist. I will just re-download the music, so that is a saving there. My Seamwork sewing subscription was £6.95 because of the exchange rate. That was the amount last month. It should be $9. That's how much it came out as pounds. In terms of my business, I again decided not to proceed with Canva Pro because I didn't need anything this month. Digital, in terms of, that's an Instant Ink, HP Instant Ink. That's how much that was this month. Spent £86.22 against a budget of £100 on fabric, and my union membership was £10 this month. Giving is something which everyone has a different opinion on. I do not feel, with the variety of my income, that I can afford to regularly give. However, I've put this in giving because as I was walking back the 2.5 mile walk from town one day to save myself money on the bus fare, I was accosted by a gentleman who was covered in blood and stinking of alcohol, saying that he needed to go down to the health centre and did I have any change. Yes, I did have change, but I was not prepared to go and give this gentleman money. I'm sorry. That's just how I felt given what I was confronted with at the time. But we were by a bus stop and the bus takes card. So he was saying he needed a bus ticket down into town, so I bought him a bus ticket. £3.80. So that meant that my total actual amount this month spent was £111.74, and I saved £81.85. Should have planned that better. So just in terms of how I've broken down the week, you can see how I kind of try and split them across. This top here, it was the weekend that I had with my sister, and that was where the £30 that I pulled over there went, and that actually came to £30.59. So there we go. Then I have a lot of transactions, lot of transactions, and indeed my week one officially was £241.48, and this is where you can see specifically this week as well, food, even across here, food is a problem. I have said on several occasions that money and mental health for me is linked. I do actually believe it is linked for everyone, but not everyone wants to acknowledge that sometimes. And when I get overly anxious, I emotionally eat and emotionally spend. Sometimes I emotionally spend on emotional eating and then emotional spending, and that is very much what happened, and that contributed to a doubling of my food budget. The interesting thing is that over these 2 weeks I was getting really paranoid that I wasn't going to be earning enough money and I wouldn't be able to make all my bills, and I didn't realise because I was emotionally eating and therefore emotionally spending, and at the same time as well I suffered a real setback as a result to the anxiety, and I didn't reconcile my budget in nearly 2 weeks. So by the time I reconciled here and here, I had done most of the financial damage there. There is a reason, but I'm not saying that reason is an excuse, and it is something I'm aware of, but it would have been really nice to know at the time, and obviously I would have had another £120 to do stuff with. And you can see as well there's a bit more business spending here that fell in line with the film shoot as well that I was doing, and then materials and things. And then just very quickly I had started to log all the transactions and stuff that came in for them, and very quickly ran away with me because there was not enough space because of how many I was doing. And then also as well I have my reflections on the month, so good things and bad things, as you can clearly see. £1,400 total income, kind of rounded, nice round number. When I was salaried, I was only earning £1,249 with very little opportunity to increase on that. So obviously £592 of that comes through income support, but the fact that I have been able to do near to £900 by myself, I'm quite happy with, or £800 by myself, I'm very happy with, specifically including the fact that over £400 of that is commission-based work that I can carry on creating. Overall, much better at tracking, and actually what I have realised, yes, there are some receipts missing. The receipts that are missing are the ones that I paid in cash. Anything that I paid on card, I was able to track and reconcile very easily. So as a result, in this month, in March, I'm actually trying to see how I go with just using card wherever possible that I can. I met my savings goals, and this is a huge one for me, and this feels amazing because I have never had savings. I've never been able to carry a balance forward. I have always been either negative a balance or chasing money. I've never had the money sitting there that I can just look at, and it actually makes me really excited to grow my savings and grow that. And eventually the plan, given the fact that I'm freelancing, is that once I have a total accumulated savings amount of £500 in any of my pots, I will then feel comfortable that I have hit baby step 1. A lot of my pots are year long and will take me year long to achieve, and actually I want to get started with baby step 2 as quickly as possible. But for me to solely save £500 in one pot as an emergency fund, and then continue to save for my respective sinking funds, and those are the very basic ones that I really can't touch, I feel like that would just take far too long to do with the variations of my income so far. Balance carrying forward, and again starting to feel that behaviour change. And interestingly enough, I was also able to pick up the letters from my debtors and creditors and actually arrange minimums on them and get those negotiated, because I had been burying my head in the sand for a little bit about that because I didn't have the money there and didn't know where it was going to come from. Now I feel confident that with the creative work that I'm doing that I can earn that. And then in terms of the cons, because there's always a balance to these things, you can't have a perfect month. Overspend on food is the really obvious one. That would have been another £120 for the sake of rounding up that I would have had. Obviously the cat was an obvious overspend. The personal money was just kind of here or there. I think I've set that too low, and I think, to be fair as well, I've set my food allowance too low as well, even within the overspend. So I have actually increased those categories going forward into March by quite a bit, in the hope that I will actually be under and I can meet somewhere in the middle, and I will know. But this is only my second month for fully budgeting like this, and they say it takes about 3 months to get comfortable. So there we are. Struggling to track cash payments, and receipts lost. So I am addressing that by trying to pay in card as much as possible. And then within that as well, not enough category pots, and that caused confusion. When I'm buying things like toiletries or household items, I would probably say I maybe buy household items once every 6 weeks, but that household pot, in terms of laundry powder, loo roll, washing up liquid and things like that, that could come to up to £15 depending on what I need. And then even basic things like razors and shower gel. I don't buy super expensive fancy ones, but by the time they wear out, they tend to wear out at the same time, and then that can easily be another £10 by the time you've replaced all of those. So hence why I am doing a very small kind of savings pot that I will my bank account has a roundup feature, Sorry, you can see the shadows of my hands. My bank account has a round up feature, and that will allow me to round up the difference in any transaction I make on card, and that will feed into a pot that I dedicate. So that is how I am doing that. So that is that. Just a quick sneak peek into March. I was able to carry a balance forward for £205.69, which is fantastic. And interestingly enough, this first week alone, because it's the end of the first week of March, I have earned £197 just on the costume commissions. So I have a target that I want to reach. I have certainly most of the raw materials that I need in terms of the fabrics. Some of the smaller components are going to be difficult for me to source because the raw cost items of those and the lead times are very much being affected by the supply chain issues that are as a result of the coronavirus. Excuse me. And you can see as well that I have started to increase my savings pots. So that is that, and then more detailed there. So that's all you're seeing for now. And yeah, getting through March. March is my birthday month, and I am hoping for a good 5-week period of earning. Let me know how you guys got on. How was your February? Some people have obviously put their budgets up already. I haven't yet. It will be done very quickly. And don't forget to come and find me on Fridays, where I do my Little Lift Friday videos, where we talk about all the things that we are thankful for that week, be they freebies, spending money to save money, saving money, not spending money, not saving money but actually doing really well, training, business ideas, having cuddles with your respective pet, mine is a cat, etc, etc. So thanks to everyone who's come over from Instagram. Don't forget to like and subscribe, leave your comment down below, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.